turning it around and calling us the violent people. But I think they're very insecure with their ideas, and they probably deep down in their heart think they're being good Americans. But I don't think their understanding is clear enough where they feel secure and confident, so they strike out at us and start calling us names.
I agree. Gallup poll, of course, has reported 10% approval rating for Cheney, 11% for Congress. That's the all-time low. Bush has even broken Nixon's record for unpopularity. Both parties, for the first time, are unpopular, and they even said that in the Glenn Beck newscast, that the people don't believe us anymore. What are we going to do? And they're publicly starting to panic.
Yeah, I think that was the early part of that statement. He was recognizing exactly what we recognize, but he's dumbfounded that they're coming toward us and looking to us, and they want to offer this more authoritarian approach, more government approach. So, it's up for grabs, and this is what this is all about. The American people, I guess both sides agree that the American people have lost confidence in the government. It's what we're going to replace it with. And, of course, my argument is that we replace it with the American tradition and our Constitution. This whole idea that we're calling for violence is absolutely preposterous. I have been an advocate of civil disobedience as long as it's, peaceful. And, one of my heroes in the way he acted was actually Martin Luther King. I mean, he was attacking some very stupid, vicious laws, but he never preached violence. He was willing to go to prison, and Gandhi as well. I look to Gandhi as a leader, and for them to turn that around and start throwing the word fascist away at us, they're trying to kill us by just calling us names, but not dealing with us in terms of philosophic differences.
Well, you mentioned Gandhi. To paraphrase, he said, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they attack you, then you win. We're now entering the attack phase, and as an Air Force man, you know the old World War II saying, when you're over the target, you get the flak. I think this is a really good sign, isn't it?
Well, it's a good sign, but sometimes it's a little bit scary about, what will come. But I think they feel very much on the defensive, and I think they were willing to ignore us. And unfortunately, in this country, the only thing that talks is money. Our ideas were not accepted in the conventional media, but now the money is talking, the organization is talking, because we've been able to raise this money. We do get attention of the media. So in spite of their plans to exclude us and do damage to us, if you have an organization that is now newsworthy, we can't just say that they may be out sometime to undermine us, but we've been getting some honest, interviews in the conventional media, and we shouldn't condemn everybody who calls us and puts us on the radio and television as out there only to destroy us. But I think we've earned our stripes, and that's why we're getting this attention. But we have to continue to do this. Not only was November 5th important, the next fundraising day could be very, very important. But ultimately, the only thing that counts is what happens, in our primaries. If we end up with a lot of noise and a lot of money and no votes, then we've lost the chance for victory. And
Zogby polls, and the head of Zogby last week on Fox, Mr. Zogby said, though, that you could win. And I had the head analyst from Zogby on yesterday, Fritz Wenzel, and he said that you are on trajectory to win the primary, and he added from a poll I commissioned, but other polls that they've shown, that you are the strongest candidate in double digits against Hillary. Can you speak to that?
Well, I haven't analyzed that closely because I'm concentrating on my day-to-day activities.
Strongest Republican.
Presenting the case for why we should, and should and can do well in the primary. But I haven't paid that much attention in detail, but of course she represents something quite opposite of what I do, so I would think that if the time comes, I will continue to do exactly what I'm doing, but I just think our views are that much more popular and offer so much more than just more government. I mean, we all know there's a tragic problem with medical care, but it has come from government. What does she want to do? She wants to turn it over to the government. She wants to totally socialize it. I want to free up the system. So there's obviously dramatic differences between her approach and mine.
Dr. Paul, quick take on the 5th of November and this new grassroots campaign that got announced about 2 weeks ago of on the 16th and 17th, Bill of Rights Day and Boston Tea Party Day. They'll have trouble spending that like they did the other day. $10 million they're shooting for. What do you think of that?
Well, I was pretty skeptical before, and they did pretty darn well, so I don't know. I guess I just have to wait and see what happens. So they surprised me. So, and you know, what is utterly amazing about that is, you know, we don't have to go out and hire paid people to raise money. These other campaigns either have to use their own money or they have to get paid people to go out and get money from the special interest. Then they pay 20 and 30% fees, for raising this money. We didn't have to pay any money, to raise this. This is probably a historic event to raise that much money in one day and not costing us 1 cent.
Without giving away too much strategy, the New York Times asked the question yesterday that you've only spent 43 cents per dollar of what you raised. Are you planning on spending most of the war chest running up to these primaries?
Yeah, and I couldn't even defend or explain or know what they're talking about from what date to what date because, obviously the money is sent to us for one purpose, to enhance the campaign. So we certainly are. We're very much involved in buying television now and doing a lot of direct mail and doing the things that we're supposed to be doing. So I think we would be irresponsible if we didn't spend the money to do our best job to win these primaries.
Shifting gears back to the first subject, there was a Fox News clip we played there where a lady stood up and said, "Please stop the war, Hillary. We sent you guys to Congress to do that." And they grab her and a man and drag him out. And then the Fox News commentators say, "Man, we need to tase them, need to beat them to a pulp." They go on to say we shouldn't allow people to question our politicians in this new anti-terror climate. And we see them swinging around. We even have a White House memo from last year, by the way, sir, that came out in September, where the White House said that this was going to be a strategy to paint their detractors as aiders of terrorists. Does that concern you to hear national television, and this is a talking point we've discovered, calling for violence against peaceful protesters?
Well, if they are, of course, nobody